Hey guys, this is Light, and the custom group summon is coming back next week, and this one is a little special because it includes all the way up to Fire Cigarette, who is a fairly recent unit. So if you're a new player and you missed her, you'll be able to get her, which is super nice, and you'll also be able to get Aram and Hua Young, who are basically rerunning in this banner. So for the top tier units, these three are insane for Guild War and Arena, and I firmly believe that the best thing you can do in E7 is making Arena and Guild War easier for yourself. So Hua the combo of Hua Young plus Aram pretty much just destroys every single Harsedi defense in Guild War and Arena, which is really nice. And Hua Young also has one of the most wanted artifacts in the game. It's a summer photogenic. It gives you a damage boost, but also it makes your thief that you put it on ignore damage share. So you do, max damage to stuff like Estelle and Lady of the Scales without having to worry about like all your damage getting mitigated. It is super strong, and the last season of RTA kind of revolved around it to some extent. So yeah, her artifact is insane, and if you're wondering how many you should pull, I would recommend to have 3. I only have 1, and I was perfectly fine with 1, but I would have loved to have 3 to give myself more options. I would max 1 and then hold the others at plus 15 until you want to put them on something else. But yeah, definitely you want multiple for artifact. Personally, I will be getting 3. And then for Aram, she has Queen's Whistle. It is a bridging artifact as well as an artifact that gives your team a big attack boost, so like Warhorn, which makes it really good in Hollow Trials for when you're going for a high score. And also, it's a bridging artifact, and by bridging artifact, I mean it's something that enables the holder to take a turn after a condition, in which case, if the highest attack unit takes a turn, the holder gets bridged by 20%, which is really good. For like, setting up your cleave and whatnot. So yeah, her artifact is super good. The unit herself is super good. Yeah, and yeah, super convenient for everything. It doesn't have much use in RTA though, besides like late pick countering Harsedi or something. But yeah, super solid units to have. And we have Hecate. Hecate is basically the queen of Arena and Guild War. She stops immortality and revives from proccing at all. And so like, Gale's frontline unit will instantly die. RB won't revive, a Holy Sack won't activate, and she also does a ton of damage herself. So yeah, she is the only unit of her kind. And she stops everything annoying, and she also has, 30,000 damage on her S3 for fun. So yeah, she's insane. Super important in Guild War, super important in Arena. Yeah, one of a kind, and her artifact is really good for herself. Alternatively though, you can just use what's it called, like the blue thorn thingy, so you don't need to put Hecate in the banner if you already have her. And like, you don't have her artifact, but it's nice to have. The RD is really good for herself, and maybe it'll be good for some like on hit warrior kind of thing in the future, but who knows. But yeah, Hecate is super strong. But yeah, these are my top picks. But if for some reason you already have tons of them in their artifact, um, the next choices will be one of these bozos. Little Senya, really good against Heart City still. She's getting an EE that makes her slightly stronger. Her artifact is pretty strong. It makes her Soul Weaver CR boost the front slot ally by an extra bit every turn, which is nice. A lot of people use that on Blue Ahmed so that she can push like, what was it, like 55 CR to her front line in her extra turn, which is pretty good. But we don't. I don't honestly don't. I don't really care about this artifact too much. The unit is really decent though, especially in Guild War Arena, of course. And then we have Flag Cigarette. She's okay in RTA. Usually you just pick her to stop like counterattackers because everything about her is like anti-counterattack. But her artifact is really strong. It is also a bridging artifact that pushes you whenever someone on your team does a basic attack. So like if you have Zio and you S1, you get a push, which is really nice. You also get a push from RNL doing her S2 into the bonus attack, which is really nice too. But yeah, super nice artifact. If you had to replace these units, I would definitely go with one of these first. And we have Renak. Renak is Renak. She's really fast. She does a lot of damage. You don't really use her artifact on anything besides her. For RTA, she's pretty whatever unless you're super fast, but for Guild War, you can build her super tanky to cheese people, and you don't even need her own artifact for that. So yeah, she's a decent pick. Then we have Ahmed. Ahmed is a premier cleave unit in Guild War and Arena. Definitely fell off in RTA to be just the last pick. But yeah, she's a super solid cleave unit. She has a lot of synergy with Hecate because Hecate will get 50% CR push on her S3, and then Ahmed can give her a swift attack to make it 100, so Hecate can take like 2 consecutive turns. And so yeah, Ahmed plus Hecate, super common cleave. So yeah, if you want to do that, Ahmed is a thing. Her own artifact is pretty whatever though. It's just an extra push and crit damage buff, which is negligible. But yeah. And then we have Lethe. Lethe's okay if you have Nurse Yuha. She is really good against the Nodo's RNO defenses, but only if you have Nurse Yuha and only if you're very fast. I wouldn't recommend this unit unless you have really good speed gear and HP gear, but up to you. And also you must have Nurse Yuha. I think I said that already. We have Tori. Tori is one of the go-to anti-evasion units. She gives herself 50% hit chance, which is really nice. She's immune to debuffs on turn 1 if you have immunity. She's just a solid damage dealer, does tons of single target damage, pretty safe. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Her artifact is pretty useless though. Like Tori uses basically everything except her own artifact. So yeah, pretty whatever. Then we have Ada. I mean, Ada is pretty whatever as well. Like you sometimes see her in RTA. You don't really use her in Guild War Arena at all. She's an okay answer to Freeren, but overall pretty whatever. And her artifact isn't that good either. And then Blooming Litica, she's just a cleave unit. Like you pick this unit with, you know, Zio. She's one of the go-to units to stop enemy CR pushers that could like cut your cleave. Because you know she can push back and restrict people, so that's nice. But that's about it. She doesn't really do that much. Like she can stun, she can do a bit of damage. If you really want another Zio cleave unit, go for it, I guess. If you have nothing else, go for it. And she also really needs her own artifact. Nothing else really does the job. Yeah. Then we have Gala. Her artifact is not good, but she herself as a unit is okay. She ignores damage share on her big nuke S3, so you don't need photogenic on her. But that's about it. She just does a lot of damage. Nothing really special otherwise. We have Frida. Frida's okay. Frida's a cheat unit that lets you soul burn even though the other person has like Bellion, which is nice, I guess. But People don't really use her these days. There are other ways. There's plenty of ways to cleave without soul burning. But if anything, the spotted mouse tie is kind of nice because it gives you souls at the start of the game unconditionally. Unlike Bird's Eye where you have to use a non-attack skill, so that's nice. Honestly, I would pull for Frida for just her artifact, to be honest, but yeah. But yeah, those are all the units I think are worth pulling. I wouldn't recommend anything from down here unless you have nothing else. Cause like these units are outdated and their artifacts are not needed. Like at all, unfortunately. But yeah. That is about it. Hope that was helpful. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time then. Thank you.